something bad was about to happen. Had I stayed in Australia, I have no doubt that I would have been silenced by now. After I got here, everything showed me why I left and why I had to leave. I think there's always forces that want to stop you from doing what you're doing, especially when it's what we're doing. We need to maneuver ourselves back to a point of sovereignty. So I don't see any solution in the legal system, but by the same token, I see we need to use that system. It's taken about 100 years or 120 years to put this particular plan into effect. You're going to see this incredible darkness. You're going to see horrors that you never imagined unfolding, but you've got to realize that this is a temporary birthing pain.
Hey, Inspired Tribe, how's it going? Welcome on the Inspired channel. My name is John Nolan, and today we're welcoming back a wonderful guest that we had for a previous interview, the amazing researcher, I think philosopher and fellow freedom fighter, Max Igan. Max, thank you so much for coming back on the show.
My pleasure, brother. Always a pleasure to come and talk to you, man. Can you hear me all right? Is this mic okay where it is? Should be all right.
Everything. You crisp and clear. You look great. You sound great. Max, people have been following on our channel and on all the other platforms, especially your recent journey. And I just want to say that your first interview and the clips that we posted of it on YouTube have gathered over 700,000 views, and people absolutely love what you have to say, and they resonate deeply with your message. So our tribe was really, really excited to learn that you're going to be here again. Your story in the past weeks and months has been quite crazy. You left Australia, you followed your own guidance. That's what you've been teaching for many years now, to trust intuition, trust spirit, and then act upon it. And I know you're now in Mexico. You left Australia, not really because you wanted to, but because you felt deeply that you needed to in order to continue doing your important work. How's your situation right now, and how's the situation on the ground in Mexico?
Look, my situation's fine. I completely landed on my feet here. I sort of stepped into the unknown and was totally looked after when I got here, which is really good. I'm still sort of flitting around between places and kind of couch surfing, but I should have a unit, a small unit somewhere by the end of the month, so that's good. The situation on the ground here in Mexico is not too bad. I mean, there's still a lot of people wearing masks and all this sort of stuff, so it's not completely free. There are, people who are supporting this whole pandemic idea. So, but, it's freer than what was happening in Australia. And had I stayed in Australia, I have no doubt that I would have been silenced by now. A whole bunch of things happened after I left, which I've spoken about many times in many interviews. I'm sure everyone's heard the story. But it was just time for me to go. It was the last thing I expected I would be doing, but Spirit sort of said it. So I did it. And if I hadn't, like I said, I would be silenced. Things turned really pear-shaped about a week after I left. And it's been good. It's been good here. There's a certain amount of freedom in Mexico anyway, because the people just don't really like what the government does and what the government says. They don't really support the government. So, it could still go either way. I don't think anywhere is safe in the world. I don't think there's anywhere we can go to hide from this. And it isn't a matter of hiding. It's a matter of responding in the right way. So, yeah.
Well, a lot of this is the conversation I would love to have with you today. In quick words, you were in Australia, you especially over the past, since this whole pandemic thing started, you have been really focusing on the situation in your country, what's been going on, how this has been unfolding, and really putting out the word. And at one point you felt a deep intuition that you needed to leave the country, or it would have negative or probably unforeseeable consequences. That's what I meant by you following what you've been teaching. Do you feel right now where you're at that there is still a present danger for you? Do you feel that there is still a plan or still something going on to keep you from doing your work?
Look, I think there's always forces that want to stop you from doing what you're doing, especially when it's what we're doing. But I don't feel any immediate danger right now, not where I am. And I don't think that there's any immediate danger, that I'm going to be getting. What I think would have happened when I was in Australia is that they would have used me to paint me as a right-wing extremist, and they would have used the contacts I've got, because I've got so many contacts in Australia, to be able to paint the entire resistance with that brush. That's what I can see would have happened. And that's something that I can see after I left the country because of certain things that happened after I left.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think the danger was there, but it wasn't just for me, it was for the entire movement. I think had I stayed, the big apprehension I had was there was something bad was about to happen, and that I have a lot of respect for my landlord in the place where I live, in that beautiful shed and that property that I do my walk and talks on. He's a really kind, very gentle, very genuine, very down-to-earth man who's been very good to me, giving me this place. And I felt the police were closing in. I felt something was closing in. And if they were to come and find me in that place, the police in Australia are brutal. And it's such a work of art, that place, that the police would smash it up just because they can, because they enjoy that sort of stuff. And I really didn't want any danger coming to him. So I thought, I've got to get away from this property for a while. And then it was just, no, I've actually got to get out of the country. And I'm thinking, well, this is not even possible to do, is it? And then all these things happened that led me, and I'm okay, well, obviously I can leave if I play it right. So I played it right, and I left, and I got here, and it was amazing. Actually, after I got here, everything showed me why I left and why I had to leave. And that's why I think I was so looked after when I got here. It was like Spirit showing me, well, look, okay, you looked after. This was guidance that brought you here. So, yeah, I mean, you've just got to trust in these things, brother. Everything I've done has been intuitive. Joining the radio show, and even when I got the job as a radio host, it was all intuitive. Everything I've done has been intuitive. So, in these sort of moments, even though it's the most bizarre thing that could come into your mind, if your heart and your intuition is telling you should do that, then yes, you should do it. You should throw yourself to the wind, and when you do, you'll find that you can ride it. And if Spirit's guiding you, you'll land in the right spot. And I'm a perfect example of that.
Oh, man. Such a beautiful message to all of our viewers, because people always think that this is kind of a special thing that only happens to certain people. It happens to all of us. It's always present. It's a matter of us actually tuning in and then acting upon it. And what you did is acting on complete trust. There's no safety net. There's nothing around it. It's simply doing what you know to be right and going for it. And we appreciate that you've done it, because it will allow us to continue to hear your messages and what's really going on, which is so important. And I know you said this, you want to continue to focus on Australia, even if you're physically not present. How do you see, is it fair to say that the government now in Australia is officially a tyrannical regime or dictatorial regime, that has been past that point of no return, basically, for the government in Australia?
I think it's past the point of no return. I don't think the people have let it go that far yet. I mean, it's almost past the point of no return. It's definitely a dictatorial regime, but not openly yet. They're still trying to keep it warm and fuzzy and make pretend that they care about the people and all this sort of stuff. For the most part, a lot of the people are going along with it, but there's a lot of people that are waking up to it as well. I don't think with anything with the human experience, I don't think it's ever past the point of no return. We might have got past a tipping point, and we've got to a point where things are definitely going to have to play themselves out. I mean, this whole pandemic, even if we were to rein our governments in and get them to behave properly, or even replace them with people of integrity, which would be a better idea, it has to play its course. It still has to run its course, because so many people.
Help by spreading this message. Share with your friends, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Turn on notifications to stay updated.